Just because I don't like Yooka-Laylee doesn't mean I don't respect nostalgia. Yooka-Laylee is an attempt at a charming game, reminiscent of old-school collectathon platformers, but instead of invoking fond remembrance of its source material, it bullies it into submission with endless childish and toxic jabs. The way Yooka-Laylee presents itself, you'd think the Rare developers who worked on it were unjustly terminated from the studio that made Banjo-Kazooie, because I don't feel any reverence from this game at all. It's a love letter that comes off as hate mail. Laylee, the Bat character, is the most unlikable mascot sidekick since Hitler's second-in-command, and berates and insults every character he meets. He's simply a fucking douchebag. And they all just stare at him while he does it and react like they didn't hear anything. Grow some self-esteem and tool on Laylee for his fat apple nose or something. Yooka just sits there through all this and just occasionally throws out a half-assed Laylee like he's Jeff Dunham fake scolding a puppet. I want to smash him with a boulder. The game features tons of nostalgic references, but they're all addressed with such adolescent dialogue that it feels like an 8-year-old is talking about shit he wasn't alive to remember. You want to see homages done right? You go play A Hat in Time, which succeeds where Yooka-Laylee failed and provides a callback experience to the same era of gaming from a place of noticeable respect. I get Yooka-Laylee. People were like, you don't understand the nostalgia. Oh, I understand it just fine. You don't seem to understand when your nostalgia is getting physically abused and degraded right in front of you. You're like a girl with scars and bruises going, at least I have a husband. Get out! Find something that will treat you right. Like, again, the aforementioned A Hat in Time. Here, I'll metaphor it for you if you're still not quite getting what I'm talking about. Let's say you have a game you love, and you've really wanted to show it to your friend and have them play it, and they've been kind of uninterested, but eventually they give in, and you're like, yes, finally, you're gonna see how awesome this game is, and you'll love it as much as me! Now imagine that you finally watch your friend play that game, and they just tool on it at every fucking turn, insulting everything you love so much about it, and lamenting how stupid and played out everything is. Or if you're a father or mother, showing your favorite old games to your 10-year-old son, and you're so excited to introduce him to the world of gaming that you grew up in, and the whole time he's just providing running commentary on how much everything fucking sucks. That's what Yooka-Laylee does to its source material. Every quest you go on, Laylee's just like, oh god, this boring shit. And oh, let me guess, you won't give us a collectible until we do your dumb job. Oh, great, I'm thrilled for the opportunity to help you out. Also, let me pick on how fat you are. I think I'm the Roastmaster General, but my dialogue is so vapidly cookie-cutter and nonsensical that I literally called a character Candy Floss Features as a proper noun. What? I've never hated a video game in my life, but Yooka-Laylee comes close. But he's just one character. You can't let one character in a vast world of characters ruin the game, but he's the main character. He's the sidekick, but he has more dialogue than Yooka. It's his toxic attitude that is front and center in every conversation in the game. You know who likes Laylee? Is bratty children ages 9 to 12 who were like, I wish I could talk like that without getting in trouble. The worst kind of kids imaginable, who pull pranks and would religiously watch Terrence and Phillip if it was a real show. Dude, if Laylee wasn't in the game, I would have none of these complaints. It is 100% his fault, and he drags the entire experience into the sewers. Without him, you just have a relatively generic platformer that gets old after a couple hours, and that would be easier on all of us. I'm gonna bring some stream of consciousness topics back over to this series now with some updated jokes, starting with my stance on digital games versus hard copies. I've bought exclusively digital with the exception of handheld for the last couple years now. The idea of a game being sold out is so foreign to me, I forgot it happens. I play every PS4 game at 9 p.m. the day before it releases. I don't get in lines, I don't camp anywhere, I don't speak to anyone at a register. I pay for and download my games from the comfort of my rickety office chair. Yeah, I run out of space faster than hard copiers, but I'm never currently playing more games than I have room for. I have 41 games downloaded. I can't imagine a situation in which I ever need more than 41 games at the ready at any given time. Collectors will buy the hard copies. I don't follow the esteem associated with them. The only thing you're beating me at is used shelf space. It's like decorative pillows. Who are you trying to impress? Or do you think once you've amassed thousands of games in 20 years, you're gonna go on eBay and someone is gonna want all of them? Who's that guy that bids on shit like that? I've been meaning to get into gaming, never really had time for it before now, so should I start with a truckload and work my way up? Digital data can be corrupted, but that's why we have licenses to re-download the games if something goes wrong. It's tied to our account even if the system fries. Meanwhile, your hard copies can be stolen or damaged in a California wildfire. It's just preference, and I prefer not to fuck with discs. The less I have to move to play a different game, the better. I don't want to have to hunch over my shelf and scan the cases looking for specific tiny font. It annoys me when people say they trade in games whenever they don't meet their expectations. Like, no you don't. You just say that to emphasize how bad you thought the game was, and I don't know why that's worth lying about. Like, really, the game was so bad you ran an errand to get it out of your house, took it back, got a $5 trade-in value, worth the gas for the trip. The only reason people trade in video games is because they're penniless or in desperate need of coke. Even homeless people are like, why bother? But these people love to say that they trade games in. It's a sort of pride for them. It makes them feel like a distinguished and savvy consumer. But all that proves is you have shit taste that even your future self doesn't agree with. You must be a terrible judge of quality to just return game after game like, man, the games I pick keep sucking. It must be someone else's fault. It's bad enough you're a video game snob, you're not even a good one. You ever buy games you don't play? I do. Sometimes I think cheap indie games deserve my money because I respect their concept, but I get to the purchase page and I'm like, I'm basically betting $15 that I will at some point eventually play this. And I usually lose that bet, but they get a sale out of it and I don't really feel bad. In a way, I guess I do charity work. Maybe I'm not such a bad guy after all. I'd wager I haven't played 20% of the games in my library, all bought and paid for, just waiting for a download to start and application to open, but I'm too busy complaining about how I don't have any games to play. I hate when the first real speedrun of a new game gets some traction, and it's like this monumentally fast time done by discovering exploits and glitches, and the comments are like, well, guess I'm not getting this game, not gonna drop $60 on 15 minutes of gameplay. You people are unavoidably fucking stupid. Somebody speedran a game in 15 minutes, and now you're not gonna get it because you think there's only 15 minutes of gameplay in the entire thing? That's like if someone uploaded a video of them fast-forwarding through a movie and you're like, what a short movie that was. Are you clinically an idiot? It's one of the dumbest sentiments I've ever seen in gaming. Like you're gonna pick up the game and immediately match the world record speedrun time because, oh, that's just how much game there is. I put in the disc, had no idea what I was doing, credits just came on after 15 minutes. It was so ridiculous I traded it in. No, you didn't though. You still didn't trade it in after that. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep up the opinions in the comments. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.